This is the happiest episode of Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris I think that can possibly exist. I'm fighting the flu, have been for about a week, so I'm just going to throw it to Bobby. Bobby, I pray tomorrow.
You going? I guess not. You're sick.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there in spirit. How about you?
Yeah, I'll be watching it from work. It's not my thing to stand out in the cold for hours and hours, but they did it. I mean, they won. It came so quick, right? It seems like yesterday they were, playing the Falcons and saying they weren't even a playoff team, and they had to fire the coach, and Barkley couldn't catch the ball. But 3 months later, they're the champions, and looks like they could have beat any team ever put on the field. I mean, it was complete domination.
Excuse me, before we take a short break, we'll be back before you know it. Just let me say this, and I think Bobby will agree. This might be the most dominant Philadelphia team ever.
I mean, I didn't see this 83 Sixers, but
yeah, that would have to be the rival to this one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see. I don't remember a team. Years ago in the 80s, they had the Redskins dominated, the Giants dominated the couple of games, the Bills. The Redskins beat the Broncos bad, but this was just, there was never a doubt. I mean, I know we had a little bit of doubt in our minds because of what we've been through as Philadelphia fans, but all I hear nationwide is it was a boring Super Bowl and it was never even a game.
Hey, as we go into the short break, I'll just end it with this. The pass play was called to Devontae Smith, and it was said on the sidelines, "We hit this, it's over." They were right.
That's right.
Back after this.
Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, eSports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
I'll say this real quick before I run out of steam, before I run out of voice. That game was equivalent to a 4-game championship series where your team wins 4-0 and your team never trailed in any game. The biggest thing for me in the game and the most annoying thing was just waiting for the clock to run down. And the final thing that's going to stick out in my mind, other than all the great plays and obviously what Bobby will talk about, the call he made with Cooper DeJean is Kenny Pickett was in the game.
Yeah. he took the final snap, so he gets the win, right? He gets the save.
It almost doesn't seem like reality, but it is.
Yeah, I mean, I told you before, when I make these kind of predictions and they come true, it actually annoys me. I don't like it because I don't make any money on it. Yeah, I almost got the score right. What did I say? 38-23. I was off by total of 3 points. The Cooper DeJean touchdown was just something I saw happen. I thought it would be more on a return, on a punt return. I didn't see the interception really being. I did say it, but I didn't really see it. I watched it back. I actually called the AJ Brown touchdown too. I said 6 yards. He got 12, so a little off on that. I mean, thank you, Arizona. Always Arizona. Have a great show. Congrats to the Eagles. Yeah, we appreciate it. A lot of the talk this week has been, can they do it again? I think that remains to be seen. I mean, depends who comes back, who doesn't. I mean, Josh Sweat probably is he is definitely going to shop the market and see what he gets offered. I'm sure he's going to get offered a lot of money. But, hey, if we lose Josh Sweat, Myles Garrett could be coming in. So, I mean, it's just a revolving door of replacements, it seems like. Just it never ends. It all comes down to health. Can they stay healthy? Of course. Saquon Barkley, can he stay healthy again? You always have this what do they call it, the Super Bowl circuit, where they go around, they eat all the banquets. So Jalen Hurts is going to gain 20 pounds, and
hey, the Chiefs are able to get back and do it. So
yeah,
I don't think when you. Especially looking at the teams in the AFC, I don't think there was let me put it to you this way. I think you could have taken an AFC Pro Bowl team, and the Eagles probably could have beaten them on Sunday.
Well, when you're getting that kind of pressure on the quarterback, you can't be beat. I mean, it reminded me a lot of the Tampa Bay, what they did to Kansas City when they beat them 31-9 a few years back. I mean, it was basically the same game. They just they destroyed them. I think they did it more on the ground, but the Eagles did it through the air. And, we said it. They're going to take Saquon out of the game. That's what they do. They take away your best player, and they did that. And they didn't blitz as much as I thought they would. I thought they would bring more pressure. They didn't. And Jalen Hurts had all day back there.
I mean, anyone who faces the Eagles can have the greatest quarterback in the world. They can have the greatest game plan in the world, and it all goes up in smoke as soon as Jalen Carter hits you in the mouth. And hey, I mean, I wouldn't want that guy coming after me, wanting his Super Bowl ring.
Right.
For sure.
I mean, it's cool today. I saw a lot of the mic'd up stuff came out. You saw the Sirianni play where, like he said if this is it, we'll bury them. That lady's going to sing. I just saw the Landon Dickerson block. Did you see that one?
I did not.
He blocks his guy, and then as he's blocking him, he comes off, he spins and blocks another guy coming through the hole. He blocked 2 guys on one play.
Awesome.
I'll send it to you. I mean, it's just, I'm sure we're going to see this kind of stuff coming out for the next so many weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
It'll be cool I want to see the Chiefs too. I want to see what they were saying on the sidelines. I don't know if we're going to see it, but
yeah, I would like to know what Andy could have said it at halftime, because
right.
I was going back and forth on social media as much as I could on Sunday, and at halftime it's like, well, that 28-3 just kept sticking in your head, and well, the Chiefs are going to make a run, they're going to do something or whatever. This first drive they have coming out of the second half is going to be huge. And what it was, I don't know if it was 3 and out. They may have got a first down, but they really got nowhere. And when that happened, I'm just sitting here in shock. I'm like, okay, now it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
It was going to change. I mean, there was nothing that could change. I mean, they started to throw screen pass. That's what they did. They came out and they were throwing quick screens, but we just adjusted and stopped that right away. I mean, it was nothing they could do.
Like we had talked about. Once you at halftime, the Eagles lines are just trying to get their second wind, and Kansas City's trying to recuperate. And it just wasn't going to happen for them. You made some comments about players and who came in, and we can talk about Howie all we want. I don't want anyone to forget, though. That's the same guy who drafted Jalen Reagor, though. Let's not forget that.
And Arcega Whiteside.
Yeah, true. Hey, you got to have a little fun with it.
But he learned from it.
Hey, he turned around and what?
He learned not to overthink it and just go for the sure thing. They'll try to be the smartest guy in the room. Pick the most accomplished player from college.
If teams are going to pass on the best guy in the draft, hey, look, he was confident what the Philadelphia Eagles do will make sure they can bring him in and make him the most dominant rusher in the game. And that's I don't really see. I can't see anything changing going forward, other than the fact that players will move in and out, but Jalen Hurts is only 26.
I know. And the offensive line is going to be intact at least 2 more years, probably.
Yeah, Lane Johnson.
As long as they stay healthy, they're going to be tough. And I can see them adding another receiver. I don't see why not.
Who wouldn't want to come here now? I mean,
who I could see coming here? I have a name. Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
I feel like his time in Miami is done. I feel like I think you could trade not even your first, maybe your 3rd round pick for him. Imagine that. Imagine having him here.
Gee.
Wouldn't that be a diva room though? AJ Brown and him.
But I think what was interesting too is you were talking about on the last show how, and you almost called exactly what Jalen Hurts' numbers would be, and that's how they would have to win the game. And the thing is, he had those numbers almost exactly what you thought he would, but you were factoring Barkley in being more of a factor, and
I was waiting for the Barkley to, I think we all thought he was going to break one. And he almost did the one. He tripped up.
Almost.
He almost had, and that would have been the icing on the cake to get to see that in the highlight reel. Get to see him with a long one in the Super Bowl. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, it's just it's fun. It's like saying, the hypothetical. Well, the Phillies made a World Series run, and in the National League Championship Series and in the World Series, Bryce Harper went 0 for 28, and they won 8 straight. I mean, well, he went 2 for 28. Let's say 2.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, what do you have, about 87 total yards? I mean, he wasn't like invisible. He caught the ball. He made a nice catch.
But it's so different with football because he had to be so focused on him and let everything else come into play.
Right.
And the Eagles took advantage of it.
Yeah.
I mean, when they got that ball there after before the play to Devontae Smith, I mean, he was able to be that wide open because they thought the Eagles were going to run Barkley and run the clock. And
yeah, I mean the Chiefs get the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs. When he came to the line, I just watched the sound of it. They actually did a good job. They did check. So usually when you do check, it's a check down, and you're gonna run the ball, right? So the Chiefs were definitely looking run on that play. And that's what made it so it's such an easy pass and single coverage, no safety back. Where was the safety? There was no safety back there.
No.
And Devontae Smith just went up and made the catch. That's what he's so good at, adjusting on the long ball. And I mean, yeah, I give everybody their props. They did it. I mean, I'm getting a lot of slack from my comment that I made, 3 years ago about Jalen Hurts. I'm sure you've seen it. I mean, that comment now has 571,000 views. And guess what?
Hey, look, you need to make some comments about more comments about Joel Embiid, some comments about Bryce Harper and these guys, and maybe they'll go ahead and. That's just a pathetic situation. I mean, Paul George doesn't want to be here. I don't know why he signed here. He has no interest in being a Sixer. Well, at this point, I'm not concerned about Paul George. Let me put it this way. Sorry, my sickness might be clouding my mind. It's not Paul George isn't the issue. The issue is the GM didn't realize he didn't want to be here. I mean, I realized it.
Well, nobody else wanted him. So when nobody else wanted him, George had no choice but to come here.
Well, yeah, but Morey didn't have to offer him. He said, "Okay, nobody wants you, so what?"
Yeah.
I mean,
why do we have to be the team to give in?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, like,
everybody says trade him. Trade him for what?
Who would want
Nobody
him?
would want him, right?
Yeah, I mean, I see that, you could trade him in the off season for Kevin Durant. Why would the Suns do that?
Right. I mean, this guy's supposed to be a superstar. He scored 2 points. The only superstar scores 2 points in the NBA. No one.
The only way I could see even remotely the Suns doing something would be as if the Sixers gave them like a handful of draft picks, because the Suns don't really have any. And if they really just wanted the Suns would have to be in total rebuild mode.
But then we need draft picks also. I mean, you can't just give away your draft picks, because that's the only way we're going to get good again. It's the draft players. We're not going to get good making trades. Nobody's going to give you anything for these guys.
How about that situation that happened with the guy we wanted to come here, who went to the Lakers, Dalton Ketch, and his trade got rescinded?
Yeah, well, what was that? What, Mark Williams failed the physical? Is that what happened?
I believe. I'm not even. It sounds like he failed the physical or something like that. Yeah, and that's really going to hurt the Lakers because they don't have a big man.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, Arizona's KD for all your picks.
No, thank you. What's KD going to do for us? We're not making the playoffs. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, even if you bring him in next year, I mean, it's just not.
He's done. What's he, 38? I don't want KD.
I mean, he's got 30,000 points now, and he can.
We need young players.
I mean, it's just that's depressing. But hey, you know what? We just fall back on the parade tomorrow. That's.
Yeah, but there's not going to be any for this. That's going to be the only one this year.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean,
the Sixers and Flyers aren't going anywhere. Maybe the Phillies will sneak up. When you least expect it, it seems like that's when they do it, right? But the problem is the Dodgers are signing every player there is, but that's the problem.
Well, don't forget what Dombrowski said. I forgot it, that the Phillies only lost once to the Dodgers last year.
Well,
yeah, okay.
We can't get to them.
I guess that should make the Falcons feel real good too.
Yeah, and Washington and Tampa Bay.
Washington and Tampa Bay, right.
Like we said before, the Eagles didn't lose any games when healthy, right?
No.
I mean, no, not that they didn't lose when healthy. They had Tampa Bay was the only game they really got beat bad in, and the other two games they lost because of a dropped pass.
Yeah.
So, not that I really wanted the pressure of being unbeaten. They're probably better off. That would have been a lot of pressure. They went in as the underdog, which probably gave them more reason to fight.
It's interesting too. It's interesting too when you look back on it to see how some things shook out where their first two playoff opponents were tougher games than their championship games. Just sometimes it works out that way, or you just look at it like, hey, sometimes you get a better matchup, or that's just what happens with good teams too.
Kansas City, like I said too, was beatable. They almost lost like 5 or 6 games this year. So I mean, it's not like they were a juggernaut.
They didn't win many games this year by more than one score as well.
Right. I'm sure they're going to retool. They're going to go out there and get some players in the offseason. You could take that to the bank. They're not going to come back with the same team. They're not going to come back with Hopkins, wide receiver, Hollywood Brown. They're going to go out there and retool.
Yeah, and you look at, is Detroit going to be the same team next year? The Lions? Yeah, probably.
Offensively, yeah.
I mean, are the Rams a team you get concerned about? You got to wait and see how they. I mean, what they start out 1-4 this year. I mean, that's just in that division's weak.
Yeah, and they have 2 wide receivers that can't stay on the field. Nakua and Kupp, they're constantly hurt.
Green Bay's the up and coming team in the NFC, and in the AFC, I got to go by who you picked before. It could be Denver.
Yeah, they're up. Their defense is really good. They get some pieces on offense. I mean, I haven't looked at the free agency list yet for wide receivers because it really hasn't been the all season long. I usually do that once our team gets eliminated. So these next couple of days, I guess I'll start going over to free agency and look who's available wide receiver wise. Because I don't think running back really matters. Running back, I mean, I understand we got Saquon, but our offensive line's dynamic. I mean, I bet you next year it's not gonna be 500, 400 carries again. It's gonna be a lot less. What's he signed for? 3 years?
It's 2 or 3. I'm not positive.
I mean, that's the other thing we talked about before. Now Sirianni gets paid, right? I mean, he's here. It's not going to be a Doug Peterson repeat. I think he's your coach for the next 5 years minimum. Yeah,
I mean, a new offensive coordinator, but they just plug them in.
Right. Every year we get a new one.
Yeah, I mean, Kellen Moore going to the Saints. I mean, that's good for the Saints, but I don't know if that's an immediate. I mean, that's a project too. I mean, you see what took place in Arizona with Gannon. I mean, it's all that stuff.
Gannon will be fired. Gannon will be fired next year. Kellen Moore will probably last 2 years. He'll get fired. I mean, they're just impossible situations to put him. And you can't blame them for taking the money. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't get mad. They did what anybody would do. They took the opportunity to be a head coach. I mean, that's the whole goal, to be a head coach. So, you can't sit back and wait for the perfect situation because the perfect situation is not going to come available because they're not going to fire their coach. So,
no, exactly.
Yeah, so anytime you take unless the guy retires, like a Bill Belichick, even though he got fired as well. But they got Mike Vrabel going to New England, and Kellen Moore. What's Dallas going to do? They're going to stay with McCarthy?
No, they have a new coach.
Oh, that's right.
No, McCarthy's gone.
That's right. I haven't even been paying attention to it.
If the staff's awake, they'll find out. It was such a lackluster name. I don't even remember who it is, or I can look it up here. But one person I wanted to mention, and since he's taken over in 1994, I mean the Eagles. Jeffrey Lurie has made the Eagles relevant almost every season,
pretty much. They haven't missed the playoffs too much.
No, and I know the thing is you want to happen for your team what we saw on Sunday. That's what you want ultimately. I mean, you take that every day, twice on Sunday, whatever cliche you want to throw out there. But you also want to have a team to where going in, okay, there's that question. Okay, can they get there because the talent's there? There's enough talent. There'll be a playoff team. Can they make a run? And every year, that's with the Eagles. I mean, that's just seemingly been what he's been able to put together. I mean,
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I put out there the tweet about it being called the gold standard because that's what they called it.
Yeah.
You know,
Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah, that's who it is. You get another Super Bowl here soon, you might be the gold standard.
Yeah, I mean, then we start, counting down. Can we win as many as the Giants and Dallas and Washington? But it's a long way to go. I mean,
Yeah, a lot of things too. The interesting thing is about you look at next season, they get that first game. I mean, the first game this year was that just bizarre Friday night game in Brazil, but they'll have the feature kickoff game.
Are they going to Australia next year? Is that what I'm hearing? It has to be us again.
2026, they'll be in Australia.
Oh, okay.
I think it's 2026. They'll play a game in Australia.
The cat is just running wild all over the house. She's actually stuck in a plant. Oh, there she is.
Let me find out where that game's going to be. Eagles.
So what's next year? Every year they go to a new country. I wonder what next year is. It probably hasn't been announced yet.
Yeah, they're playing. The Eagles. No, the Eagles aren't playing in Australia in 2000. What is this? Now it says they're not. The first thing that came up to me.
Yeah,
I think they are. I think they are. I think it's in 2000. I think this is wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's not this year. But they'll get that Thursday night game now. Now, which team it'll be, I don't know. My guess,
Detroit. I'm thinking
it's Detroit too. It's either Detroit or it's going to be the Rams.
Washington. I was going to say Washington or Detroit.
It could be. Yeah. Sorry, Dallas fans, they're not giving you that game.
Who do we play in the AFC? What division? The West.
Yes, because I think it is the West.
So it's not going to be anybody from the West unless you get a Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah, I don't think they do that. It could be Denver.
Right. I don't think it would be Denver. It's going to be a high-profile team.
Right. I would say it would. I would say it's going to have to be Detroit.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Detroit already sent out the controversy saying that they want to play us with their defense, with a real defense. They would have gave us a better game than Kansas City would have.
Yeah, they don't have here's the Eagles' opponents next year. They're at Buffalo.
Oh, they are. Wow.
At Buffalo, they play Dallas. They play Green Bay. They play Kansas City. They're at the Chargers. At Minnesota.
So Buffalo's the odd team? That's the additional game? That's crazy. That's the game they have to get.
Right. They play the Bears. They play the Lions. They play Denver, Las Vegas, the Rams, Tampa. I don't see Kansas City on here, though. Yeah, Kansas City's on here, too. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, the odd team
it's always at Arrowhead. They never come here.
Right. It's at Kansas City. You're right.
Every time.
Yeah. That's where it was. It didn't matter last time. It didn't matter that it was Monday Night Football. They beat them anyway.
I know. I've never seen them come to the link. I don't think Mahomes has ever played here.
Yeah, what a nice added team in there, the Bills.
How do we play Kansas City again? We played them last year.
I guess that was the added team last year.
They keep getting the tough AFC game.
Because and in the NFC, because you have other than the division games, you have Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago, Detroit. So they're playing all of them.
Oh, it's tough.
The Rams.
Tough schedule.
They play Tampa again. So, hey, if you're betting, it's at Tampa. Just take Tampa.
There's not an easy game on the schedule.
No. Other than the Giants and Dallas.
Yeah.
And the Bears, you can count the Bears as easy.
Yeah.
But we said the same thing coming into this season, too, when they were playing. And they ended up just sweeping the AFC North. So
Yeah. I know. It's because you look at the teams this year; they're going to be totally different teams next year. That's the way the NFL works. And you have injuries and end up playing backup quarterbacks.
What time do they have the parade tomorrow?
I know it's probably going to start around 11 because I think this. Oh wow! I got to get. Can we go to a break?
Yeah, because I kind of need one too. Staff, are you there? Can you run some commercials? Well, what the staff put on? What the staff put on some commercials?
Staff didn't load any. Hold on.
Okay, staff didn't load any, but we'll put
play some music. Play some music.
Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris. We'll be right back. Liz, don't yell anything because it's still live.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy Dentarius Locke.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That give you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, everyone? It's Drewski, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right, we're back. Gotta go to commercial there. Crazy cat running all over the house. We got her all captured. Time to get back. We're reviewing the Eagles' Super Bowl victory. 2 of them now. We're getting spoiled. 2 of them, and some people say 7 years. Some people say 8 years. I think it's 8 actually. If you count the years. It's 17 to 25. Yeah, I mean it's more than we could ever ask for. I mean, we went 51 years without one. Finally, Super Bowl 52, we beat Tom Brady and the Patriots, and then Super Bowl 59, we beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So we beat what people will probably say are the 2 best quarterbacks ever to play the game. We beat them in consecutive Super Bowls. That's a pretty good resume. Our Super Bowls were not cheapos.
Back in the day, we took down Bart Starr too. So
yeah, Bart Starr.
Look, hey, before I forget this goes out to Larry out there. He needs to get in contact with his Raiders because the Eagles avenged their loss in the Super Bowl to the Patriots. They avenged their loss in the Super Bowl to the Chiefs. Raiders need to step up and make the Super Bowl so the Eagles can beat them in the Super Bowl to avenge 1980.
That's true. We may be talking about how we need to stop Brock Bowers next year.
Yeah. No, it was just interesting how it played out that way, that they were able to avenge on their 2 Super Bowl wins against teams that had beat them.
Yeah.
This time it was essentially same quarterbacks. Yes, obviously the Patriots were a much different team because over the years. I mean, some core players and coach still there though.
You don't think Jim Plunkett's going to show up to play for the Raiders?
Well, given who the Raiders have, he's not a bad choice.
He's the only quarterback with 2 Super Bowl victories that never is in the Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard this morning. He's the only one with 2 Super Bowls.
He should be in for his hair alone and his name.
Not Jim Plunkett.
Yeah. I mean,
do you think Brandon Graham gets in the Hall of Fame?
Oh boy, no. I mean, when you say that, I mean, my initial reaction is no. Over time, you know how those things change, though.
All right. Like 20 years from now, they'll say 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's time we start having those conversations. Like, who on this team makes it? I think Lane Johnson's a surefire, no doubt about it.
There needs to be like somewhere where you're entering like the Philadelphia Sports Complex, and there's this huge Lane Johnson statue of him trying to set a block that you have to like go past before you get into the city for what he's done.
I know. I mean, he's not the only one. I mean, you're going to have Mailata's in the same category. Landon Dickerson.
And
wait do you see this the play I sent you? I mean, he's on his way to becoming a top 5 in the league, and Cam Jurgens.
Guys able to come back and play through injury and sickness and just
guess what? Jason Kelsey's retired. We didn't lose a beat.
No, didn't.
I mean, and I understand he was handpicked by him, so I guess he saw a lot of himself in him, and it was a hell of a choice. I mean, if you want to hire him to be a consultant for talent in the future, I have no problem with it.
No, and you know what? You know what the interesting thing is, Nakobe Dean wasn't on the field for the last 3 games, and
it didn't matter.
Arguably one of their better defensive players, who I'm hoping a speedy recovery, and hopefully he's back to play next season. But yeah, I mean, I thought him going out was going to be a bigger issue than it was. It's like when you went back to the Foles Super Bowl. You looked at that game that season out there against the Rams, and he goes down, and it's like, oh no. Mm-hmm. Everything was building towards him being an MVP, towards Wentz taking this team to the playoffs and possibly to a Super Bowl. And now here late in the season, he's hurt. They're probably going to end up losing this game to the Rams. They don't. Foles comes in, and there's a statue of Foles instead of Wentz. And this is Philadelphia we're talking about.
All right.
Where those things rarely ever happen.
So we did have a couple controversies come out of the game. Not controversies, but like statements. So AJ Brown says he's not satisfied. I think. Well, he didn't say. He said it's not the feeling he thought it would be winning the Super Bowl, and I feel like my opinion is coming from him. He probably wanted to do more. I think in his mind he wanted to be 10 catches, 170 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Like he wanted to be the MVP.
I thought the issue was he didn't get enough time to read his book during the game.
I think that's how he feels. Like, I really only had 3 catches. I wanted to be more. I wanted, you know what I mean? He feels. I don't know if he feels. I don't know if I want to say embarrassed, but
there was
disappointed in himself.
There was the one play where Hurts threw it short, and he'd have been open on the deep route. But the next time they got the ball, he got the ball thrown to him for a touchdown. So hey, look, AJ Brown could be as unhappy as he wants coming out of all the Eagles Super Bowl wins. I don't care.
Yeah, but I'm just hoping it doesn't get to the point where he wants out of here.
Yeah. You know, at this point, I think you could bring back Jalen Reagor and he'd fill right in. That's the way it seems.
But I almost feel like A.J. Brown would rather be on the Giants catching 110 passes than being here catching 75 passes.
There's players like that.
Yeah.
You know? Look, I don't think Saquon Barkley's upset that he wasn't able to do what he did. He was just happy to win.
He would have been happy if he had 1 carry for 1 yard. I mean, he's a leader. He'll be a captain next year. And then the other comment was Josh Sweat saying he should have been the MVP. While he's not wrong, he shouldn't be saying it.
Correct. When does that ever happen?
By a defensive player, he was actually up there before the touchdown to Smith. He was like, I think, the favorite to win it. He had a chance. It could have been him or it could have been Carter. Hey, why not Cooper DeJean? Cooper DeJean not only had the touchdown, he stopped Travis Kelce. Put clamps on Travis Kelce.
And I don't know. It's always being said though. I mean, Jalen Hurts made the comments too. This is it's a team game. We do this. Come on, the face of the NFL is the quarterback position. It's always going to be. Mm-hmm. They've turned it into that. I'm sorry.
Well, because look at what happens. The MVP goes to Disney World. If you see Josh Sweat riding on a float in Disney World, people will be like, "Who's he?" Terrence says, "Congratulations to the Eagles on winning the Super Bowl." Thank you. Sweat should have been a massive consideration. Yes, definitely.
Thanks, Larry. Like I said, we're waiting on that 80s rematch because the Eagles need to avenge the Raiders in a Super Bowl win.
Yeah. So, does Larry? Did you hear the whole comment from Chris? The Eagles lost to New England, came back, beat New England. Lost to the Chiefs, came back and beat the Chiefs.
We won our chance against the Raiders, so the Raiders need to get their act together.
Yeah, 1981. Yeah. So what were they? They were Oakland at the time, right? It was Eagles Oakland.
Yeah.
All right, so they got to move back to Oakland
and bring back Jim Plunkett. Well, the one question I wanted to ask you, and I'm surprised I've hung on this long, which is good. Jalen Hurts, the greatest quarterback in Eagles history? Is he above McNabb now?
Not yet.
Not yet?
He's only thrown for like 14,000 yards.
Because there was
if you go winning, yeah. I mean, if you say greatest winner.
Because there was so many who wanted to make the argument that Nick Foles was above McNabb. I'm like, no, hold on. Yeah. In winning a championship, obviously, but you look now. I mean, you put the question out there to people our age or even older, greatest quarterback in Eagles history. It's McNabb.
Yeah, Larry says it's Barkley the greatest running back. He's the greatest running back as far as a player we've ever had, yes, but career-wise as a Philadelphia player, not yet.
Not yet.
LaShawn McCoy.
I would agree. It's Shady McCoy.
And Brian Westbrook a close second. Now, I hope, if Barkley ends up being that for the Eagles, he'll be a top 10 rusher of all time. It's not out of the question.
No, it's not. You know, before this, we mentioned this before, and when you're talking about top 10s, and I didn't make any list this week. I'll do 2 next week.
Okay.
I was surprised last night, though. I guess I didn't realize this, but I realized KD was getting to 30,000. I didn't know he was 8th all-time scoring. That I didn't realize.
Wow.
So
you're going to ask me to name the top 7?
No, I don't have them off the top of my head either, right? Well, you probably could.
Probably do it.
But
it's pretty easy. It's LeBron, then it's Kareem, then it's Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Karl Malone. Who am I missing? I don't think Larry Bird played long enough. They're all Lakers. I know this from past. Is it Shaq or Kobe? It's Kobe. And then probably Shaq. Although I don't know if Shaq had that many points.
Shaq is 9th.
Okay.
Shaq
Did
is
I get
9th.
them all? Did I get them all?
Let me see.
LeBron?
No, you missed 1, and you missed. Well, if you want to go with the top 10, you missed number 10 too. So here it is. Number 1 is LeBron. Number 2 is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 3, Karl Malone. 4, Kobe Bryant. 5 is Michael Jordan. 7 is Wilt. 8 is Durant. 9 is Shaq. 10 and 6. I'm surprised you didn't get number 6. Number 10, I'm stunned looking at number 10.
Is it Dirk?
It's Dirk, yeah.
Dirk's 10?
No, Dirk is 6.
Oh, Dirk's 6. Number 10 would be. It's all Lakers. It's crazy.
This isn't a Laker, but.
That's Steph Curry, right?
No. 11 is a Sixer, or was a Sixer.
Charles Barkley? No.
Faux.
Moses Malone's that high? Wow.
I know. Wait till you hear this at number 10.
Elijah won?
No, Akeem is 14. It's Carmelo Anthony.
Wow. He did play forever.
I know, and I don't know why that name didn't pop up. He should.
He never won a damn thing. He barely won a playoff series.
He was drafted with LeBron, right? Same year?
I think he's 04. Is that his year?
I guess after he came out of Syracuse and won the championship. He won that.
Yeah, right. Now, Larry says he's never seen a defensive line performance like that ever. Yeah, there's not many of them. And they did it with just 4 rushers. There was an interesting stat. 6 teams in Super Bowl history have had a game where they met in blitz once. All 6 won the game. That's pretty cool.
Say that again.
6 teams in the history of the Super Bowl did not blitz once in the game, and all 6 won the game.
Yeah.
Terrence says, can we just acknowledge that the Giants love to give eventually Super Bowl champions their first pick? Wow, yeah. Jason Pierre-Paul, Odell Beckham, Kadarius Toney, that's true, and then Saquon this year. Wow. That's right. Well, who'd OBJ win the Super Bowl with? The Rams, right? Yeah, the Rams. Yeah. And Jason Pierre-Paul with what, Tampa Bay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to have the repeat of last year, next year, to have the Niners and the Chiefs again. Have another repeat.
Well, I think that the Niners are basically imploding. Deebo Samuel's asked for a trade.
Yeah, boy, that's another thing too, that I guess you have to give so much credit to Howie, the Eagles staff. You got to give it to Sirianni and everything, and to Lurie for the. I'm never big on saying they have the right culture there, because I always say the Phillies have a culture of losing, and it's still within that it's still systemic within them, that culture of losing, it seems. But after the Eagles and after last year, they could have just imploded and fallen off the map after the way their second half of the season, their playoffs ended last year. But Barkley was available and they were able to get him. And that just catapulted them to like, hey, look, we got him. And then looking around the room and everything, and it's like, this team should win it. And they did.
Yeah, I mean, they got him basically for nothing. They just had to sign him. They didn't have to give up anything, which is crazy. It's crazy. He actually mentioned this week, too, how he almost went to the Bears, how close he was to signing with the Bears. And wonder how different that would have made things.
Yeah, it would have made a huge difference.
Without a doubt, Larry. Larry says, is this the best era in Eagles history? This past 8 years, of course. 3 Super Bowls in 8 years. I mean, that'd be the best era in a lot of teams' history.
Yeah, because what we had with McNabb and Reed, the 5 NFC Championship games, 1 Super Bowl
appearance.
Yeah, I mean, that was really good, because that ended up becoming the default argument, which I didn't like. And I even think I could be wrong on this, and I don't mention a lot of names, but Anthony Gargano, I think, was one who kind of had the same sentiment where, look, what the Eagles did during that period has to be relished, because you'd rather be a team who competes every year versus a team who wins one and then is bad for 10 years or bad for 5 to 10 years. And no, I always want the championship.
Yep, same here. You're going to guarantee me a title every 4 years? Of course I'll take it. I mean, every 10 years, I'll take that anytime over what we've had.
I get the point. Now, you don't want to see a team fall into what we watched the Phillies do, where they won a championship and then they were so good, but once they stopped being good, they weren't good for a decade.
Yeah. 93 to at least 2000. Longer than a decade. It was like 14 years.
From like 2011 to 22.
And from 93 to 2008.
Yeah, well, 2007 at least, because 2007 they made the playoffs. But
yeah,
if you count getting swept 3 by the Rockies. But
all right, thanks, Ralph. We appreciate it.
Hey,
Turnpike friends, congrats on the championship.
Hey, before we come to the end, with pitchers and catchers, the Phillies are 4th in odds to win the World Series. Is that just payroll, or is it or is it just that they have names?
Yeah, I mean, I figure they're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to win the division. Thank you. We'll take them. Said we deserve rings for the punt.
I know. Well, talk to Larry.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll be getting them. We'll be getting those. What were they called? Ring pops.
Yeah, green ones. Yeah, the Phillies are there just on their names alone. I mean, I think everybody knows it's going to be the Dodgers.
Because if you said right now,
probably the Mets. The Mets are probably past the Phillies.
What when you say name the top 5 teams with the best chance to win the World Series? Dodgers.
Yeah.
I hesitate. I say Yankees.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's going to say the Yankees. I mean, that's the thing, though. If you look around baseball, there really is nobody that really sticks out as a, a surefire, definitely going to be there type of team.
No, I can't say Mets because I don't just see that gelling right away offensively, and their pitching is not what it should be.
It's true.
How about Nick Pivetta getting $55 million for 4 years?
Never thought I'd hear that.
Philadelphia.
He probably couldn't believe it.
No, but it's gotten so bad, Bobby.
Yeah.
There's people on Philadelphia social media criticizing the Phillies for not giving him that deal. No way.
Where was he going to pitch? I mean, there's no room for him. That's the one thing I'm excited for this season is Andrew Painter. I don't know when it's going to be. I'm sure it'll be a random night in June where we'll text each other and be like, they called him up. It's going to happen eventually. They'll probably knowing the Phillies will pitch 4 no-hit innings. They'll take him out with like 63 pitches.
Hey, all I know is Taijuan Walker looks good.
Where's this at? He looks good doing what? Having a catch?
That's I've seen some Taijuan Walker stuff.
With what? An inflated an inflated radar gun?
Yeah. Hey everyone, we're coming right near the end. Like I said, you can't find a happier episode. Parade's tomorrow. Yeah. Parade is tomorrow.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Bobby, thanks for sticking with me this long.
No, thank you for toughing it out. I know it was tough.
Hey, okay, now the Flyers need to win a Stanley Cup. Oh my goodness,
that's not happening.
I've said this before. I'll close on this. Bobby and I met because of baseball. My second favorite sport's hockey, and then it's the Sixers and the Eagles would come in last. I mean, of course, all of them. I mean, I'm in love with all of them, of course. But if the Flyers ever win a Stanley Cup, I'm not even gonna say that.
I want the Sixers to win it because I've never seen it.
I know. I would like it too. Hey, but we got the parade tomorrow.
Yeah.
Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris. We'll see you next week. Good night, everyone.
Hey guys, good night.